I don't have any Turkish friends. You are the only one.
Wait, that I didn't know. Now there's pressure.
I just came out in the airport with my parents and my sister.
You came out
at the airport.
And we met on Grindr, and I was with a girl. I was dating a girl when I met this guy.
What?
Yeah.
You know, this fantasy about construction workers.
I mean, who doesn't? I just think of Filipp Kirkorov. I'm like, girl.
Come on.
Every time I see him.
He's looking more and more gay this year. It's crazy. Did you
sorry.
say sex months?
Yeah. So which months are sex months? Because anal sex was illegal until 2003 in the US.
Oh,
and there's a lot of political correctness in this country where like you can't say things, but
Is it a good thing or bad thing?
I
That's
reject
very
that.
interesting.
In this world, nobody's free until everyone's free. So this country can do amazingly.
I cannot imagine Latina women have a bad relationship with a gay person. They are so lovely, they are so friendly.
Yeah.
Hello everyone, it's Gay Talk here. Welcome to my channel. And today we're gonna do something different. We've been doing this video for over a year. I've done some of them in Spanish, most of them in Russian, some of them in English, and we continue our conversation in a new format. Thank you, Saf, for your beautiful place. We're here right now in New York, in Chelsea.
Welcome, welcome.
Yes, it's a Pride Month, and I'm here with my friends, and I'm going to introduce them to you. So my name is Oleg. I live in New York City for 11 years, and this is my friend Saf.
Yeah, my name is Saf, S-A-F. I've been living in New York City for the last 16 years.
Wow.
And I'm from Turkey originally.
Yeah, nice. And this is my friend Robinson. Hi.
Hi, my name is Robinson. I am Peruvian. I am living here in New York like almost 10 years.
10 years. So we're all about the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
You're more than us. Yeah. Well, you know, on this channel we talk a lot about the gay life and the lifestyle and the questions and the issues, etc. But since we started here a new chapter and in English language, so we can reach bigger audience, and all of us are moved here at some moment, right, to United States. So that's where I wanted to start and ask you, how was your immigration was. The process was look like to United States. You know, it's a big country, land of opportunity, how people say, but you're from Turkey, you're from Peru. I've been in Turkey, I've been in Peru, by the way, both of those countries. So I have
Russia.
And I'm
Yes,
Russia. Yes. So, Saf, we're gonna start from you. So when you moved here, how was your English language? Did you know anyone here? Money-wise, like if you had a lot of money, did you know anything? Was it your first time here or?
Yeah, good question. Brings back all the memories because it was a long time ago. I mean, our world's changed so much, arguably for worse, including, you know, like this country that we're living in. So when I, basically when I was in university in my late teens, I came to US for a summer program called Work and Travel. This is year 2003 and I'm 18, right? So I really like the US, and as I'm continuing my studies in Turkey, I started applying for the green card lottery. I don't know if green card lottery is still the same, but it was pretty much like, okay, you know, best of luck, like if you apply and if you get it, you get it. So after like 4 or 5 tries, I won it. And it was year 2007 when I applied, and 2008 when I won. So, and it was like a dark time in my life. I was about to lose my mom due to cancer. I was about to finish my studies. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I'll do this. I'll give it a shot. When I came to New York, I really didn't know anyone at all. Only one distant connection through Eurovision, because I'm a big Eurovision fan.
Yeah, me too.
Yes, of course.
If you're Eurovision fan, please comment below.
Yes.
Eurovision.
So like, how interesting, right? So this person and I we became friends, and it was my first contact.
Literally because of Eurovision?
Literally, yeah.
Wow.
I met him in Moscow.
In United States. Huh?
So this guy is a
Oh
good
my
friend
God.
of mine. His
Yeah.
name's Itai. He's from Israel originally,
Oh,
and
wow.
we're still good friends. Hi, Itai. So I met him in Moscow, like in passing, because we were both fans. And he's like, "Oh, I live in New York," and I'm like, "I'm moving to New York. Hi."
And it's crazy. Even these days, it's only a few people who the fans of the Eurovision in United States. Back then, it was like
Yeah, it was a
5
very-
people total.
Literally, it was
Literally.
like him and I and a few more people.
That's it. Wow.
So of course the fandom grew in the U.S. over the years, and then I didn't have much money. My father lent me like $2,000. I was stupid enough to actually book a room, like pay someone money. Thank God I wasn't scammed, but
Yeah.
I literally sent this dude from Craigslist $750 money, like for a room in Harlem. I mean, it was such a weird time, man.
How was your English back then?
I spoke pretty good English, and I just didn't know the colloquial English or the manner, like the English, street, like
okay,
American English, basically. Because
Sure.
we are taught British English. I don't know
That's
you
right.
guys, but they teach British English
Mostly, yes. It's different
in-
pronunciation.
at school.
Yeah.
So I had to adjust, and I learned all those, New York words. In New York, we have such diverse cultures. Like we learn different languages,
Yeah.
different like Yiddish words that no one else uses, right? So.
I hope you do. Do you speak English too?
There are so many, like you say, I schlepped all the way from Brooklyn, for example. Like there are so many words that
Yeah.
you hear and use in New York. So
Cool.
yeah,
It's been 16 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow, that's quite a journey.
It's a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a lot.
Well, so by the way, we met with you for the very first time also at the Eurovision party.
Yes.
What a coincidence. I like, it's very interesting, how people get connected because
intertwined.
of that. It's
Yeah.
very small community. There's only a handful of people here, and yet it brings people together, regardless of what's going on in the world. And I mean, I agree. It's like everything is changing, and you never know if it's for better or worse. But it's very nice. And we became friends like so quickly. And I personally found so many things in common between me and you. I don't have any Turkish friends. You are the only one.
Wait, that I didn't know. Now there's pressure.
So you are the representation of the
Oh.
entire country. Yeah.
Okay, I
because
better-
I don't know anyone, and it's like I really don't know much anything. So
That's
yeah,
amazing.
That's very
Well,
cool.
That's awesome. I know some other Russian people, so I can't say that
I'm sure
about
you
Russia.
do. Yeah.
Well, you have a lot of friends, Peruvian friends, right?
I do now. I love Peruvian friends, but Robinson, we met with you 2 years ago, right?
2 years ago.
That was 2 years.
And the
Time
Pride.
flies. Yes, that was the Queen's Pride. We met just on the street, and that's the best way to meet people. Actually, honestly.
Totally,
It's,
yeah.
I mean, one of the best way for sure. And it was literally we were just passing by each other.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you guys. If you turn your head and you look around, I always do that. Okay. So we did that, and I think you did that
So
too. We
Yeah,
literally
Eye contact.
Yes,
That's it?
we passed by, we
Oh.
turned our heads, and we got
Yeah,
back
yeah.
to each other. We exchanged the Instagrams, and so we've
Yeah,
been
we'll be in
friends since
touch.
then. Right.
I feel like there's an X-rated version of this story.
There is something I want to say to you actually, Robinson.
Maybe it wasn't just words at
I mean,
first.
yeah, I do have a paid version too on the YouTube channel, so you can
That's
become
amazing.
a member. And there is something happened in Peru. I was in Peru this year, and there was this big event. I wanted to come, but you have to. It was very hard to get the tickets, and Robinson was.
Oh,
He was in New York, but he
I
was the
helped you
one
to get
who
a
helped me
ticket,
to
yeah.
get the ticket. And because I attend to that event, so many things has changed in my life.
wow.
It's
Oh,
crazy.
really? I didn't know about it. It's good to know.
Time to catch up now.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, tell me when. I mean, you said 10 years ago you moved here. How did it happen?
Well, was a long history because I was doing my best life in Peru. I was having the best life because I was studying acting, I was playing in some theaters, and at the same time I was working, so it was very good. But for some reasons, my parents decided to come here. Well, I know the reasons now, but I came for them basically, and to meet my family because my family was living here. Well, my siblings was living here. So when I came was very hard, honestly, because I didn't know the English. Now
Wow.
I think I improved a lot my
Of
English.
Yeah.
But in that point, I was just asking like, "How are you?" and that's it.
Yeah.
Just to be nice with
¿Cómo
other
estás?
people, you know. Yeah, ¿cómo estás?
By the way, we all speak Spanish.
Well, he speaks better.
Do you speak Spanish too?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
I didn't
learning
know
right
that.
now. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I can have a conversation.
But we're gonna keep it in English.
But
for
just
you
in
guys.
case you have to put a subtitles if the people don't understand my
Yeah.
accent. please.
No, your English is good.
But yeah, that was very hard because I actually came to work in construction. So, oh my God, I'm sweating a lot, I think.
No, it's
But,
hot.
So yeah, I was working in construction. I think the 2 first years I was working in construction.
I have a question
So-
immediately. How did you mentally switch from acting?
What's hard? That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
To
that
go to
switch was
construction.
very hard. From acting to construction was very very hard.
Yeah.
You know. But sometimes I was
I
playing
think
in
that's
my
where
mind.
you get your muscles from, right?
No, this is now. Before I was very skinny.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah, I was
okay.
like, I was an actor, but I was like very like
I
you
have
know
this
that.
fantasy about construction workers.
I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah.
So yeah, I you know, sometimes I was just playing in my mind like I was you know doing a movie and construction, and I was playing
Wow.
you know with my mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, what's very very hard at the beginning.
Let me ask you. You said that your parents moved here before you, right? Your family, your. to
No,
New
I
York.
moved with my parents.
Ah, you moved together.
Yeah.
What's interesting, I have a lot of friends from Latin America in United States and in New York, but I think it's not really big community from Peru. The Peruvian people. Is it how like
In New York,
in let's say New York?
I'm not sure. I mean, one of my best friends is Peruvian.
I know who you're talking about. Yes.
Really?
I think so.
Okay, Raul.
Yes.
Raul is one of my best friends.
Right, but that's it. That's only you and him.
And I think it's because it's a big community in New Jersey, in Patterson.
Oh.
And also
Peruvian.
they have a very
Patterson.
Yeah.
All the places.
They live in Patterson.
Because Patterson is where the biggest
Turkish
community is.
Really?
really.
Wait, you don't know this?
No.
I mean, it's a very different type of Turkish community, more like a different mindset, probably a bit more conservative than like people like me.
But they're still Turkish.
But it's literally the
I mean,
biggest.
you're very advanced, yeah.
Like they're probably more conservative. I can't say anything bad about them, but they're probably like married with kids, straight, voting conservative and such.
Well, that happened in Peru too.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
That's Patterson. Like
same
that's,
in Russia. Come on, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
We are here only in Manhattan, on the middle, in the Chelsea. Of course, we're like in a gay place, you know.
Yeah.
And the rest of the
Funny
world is
coincidence. I'm so
Yeah.
surprised.
1 year ago or 2 years ago, I found like many Peruvian restaurants in that area. So I found
makes
like
sense.
a lot of people is living over there. A lot of Peruvians is living over there. And actually, in July they celebrate the Peruvian independence, and they do a parade and all of that.
in
And also-
Patterson.
Yeah, and also they put it like one street or avenue, like Peru Avenue or Peruvian
I
Street.
really love those dances, the national
Yes.
Peruvian
Yeah,
dances.
they're
I was
colorful.
like enjoying so much in Lima.
No, yeah, it's very nice.
It's so colorful. It's like
Yeah.
men groups, women groups, the music. Oh my god, for
traditional
hours and hours.
folklore music or something
Yes,
like that.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
It's very
beautiful.
nice.
I love it.
So yeah, I mean,
Nice.
yeah, I think this happened in the beginning.
Tell me about the Turkish community, because I kind of familiar something about Shipset Bay area, Brighton Beach, or Brooklyn in general, but it's not. I mean, you see those restaurants. That's how you know. There's some presence.
Yeah.
Right? But beside of it, I really don't know if there is actually a community. That's the first question, and the second, if the people help one another. Like, did you have any help? Did you get
Yeah.
any help from Turkish people in New York?
Good questions. When I first came, I actually my first job here was at a Turkish American nonprofit, and I met the people in charge while I was working at my first job in Turkey. So definitely being Turkish and community helped. But it was like a really educated community. It wasn't, I mean, it wasn't like a blue collar community that helped me. It was the people that thought I could bring a lot of value to their organization. So that was helpful because my first job wasn't very difficult. I knew how to manage most aspects. There's definitely a community in the US, especially after the rise of the authoritarian regime in Turkey, especially since 2013. There's a lot of people coming to US, some of them even illegally through Mexico, which is something that was unimaginable back in the day. Like,
Yeah, but they have
this
to-
was like not a thing at all, but now people are desperate, not just for money, but they're escaping the anti-democratic, and
That's something familiar. Reminds me
Yes.
of Russia a little bit.
Yeah.
Or a lot.
true. So there's a big community. There's more than 500,000 people within the US from Turkey. Most of them living in NYC area. This is inclusive of New Jersey, and then the city itself, and like Connecticut also, and a lot in California and Texas and Florida.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. But we're also divided. Like, I don't make friends with people who support the president, because we don't have the same mentality.
I want to say that the reason I moved to New York, especially to New York, because I've been in United States one time before I actually moved here.
Yeah.
That was Las Vegas. I was there for 2 months.
Okay.
Yeah, I was learning English and I like Las Vegas, but my reason to move specifically to New York because the biggest Russian community.
Totally.
I had absolutely zero language back then.
Wow.
Zero.
Both of you guys,
Zero.
like, congrats.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
a huge accomplishment.
You're right. So
Wow.
I had zero
Thank you.
language, English language. Now I speak Spanish and English and Russian.
Yeah.
Still remember Russian. And so the community was the biggest thing because it's kind of easier to find the jobs and like you can communicate, etc. It's very big Russian community here in New York City. And beside of that, there's also LGBT Russian community.
Yeah.
That really helped a lot to kind of make first steps, from homophobic country like Russia and like try to feel different here and like build new friendships and be a little bit more free and find my first like psychologist that can help me with the stigma I brought with. That's very typical and normal. I don't know what is the situation in your country or specifically in your cases, because sometimes country can have a bad situation, but some people live comfortable life. I really enjoy the gay scene in Lima, in Peru. I mean, in Lima specifically.
I think now it's much better than before. Like 10 years ago,
It was different.
yeah, for sure. I mean, I came out here living. I mean, after 3 years living in New York, when I back to Peru for just like travel with my, visiting my sister and my family over there.
Yeah.
In the airport, because for so many reasons happened over there in Peru, I just came out in the airport with my parents and my sister.
You came out
at the airport.
Before, maybe 20 minutes before to take the flight to come here.
Wow,
Which
great
is
timing.
Yes,
is
I
one way.
just
Which
put
one
it
way
above
ticket.
and say like, okay, whatever happened, I'm not responsible about it. So, and I just came because in that point,
So they didn't expect babies from you from United States flying back to.
this is very embarrassing. But I
Why?
mean, because at that point I was having a boyfriend, and he sent me some inappropriate photos.
Okay.
And that was my sister's fault because I put in my phone over there. And I don't know who take my phone and show to her. I think so. That's what I'm assuming, because later my mom told me like, oh, your sister saw some photos that it's inappropriate. That's
so they
why
knew?
she know.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why she knew that I
Yeah.
was gay. And she was after that moment.
Yeah.
She was very weird when I was in Peru. So that's what I decided. And also my niece, which is the same age than me, she told me like, you know what, fuck it, just say it before back to New York. Just say it, and whatever happened is going to be.
So you really want to
okay.
say that in the 10 years of period of time, like situation in Lima, in Peru or Lima changed to the gay people?
Yeah, a lot. I mean, when I back the last year,
Do they have a gay pride
I think yes.
in the summer? Now it's winter time.
Now it's winter. It's starting the winter.
Right,
But
so it's
I
kinda
mean,
cold.
but they have a pride.
They do have a pride.
I think yes. Now, like it's more popular, but before,
Nice.
but it's
Wow.
very, I don't know. It's very complicated because we don't have a lot of laws that support gay community or LGBT community. But it's a lot of gay people in the closet over there. So
That's not helping.
it's a lot
they
of
have to be
stigma.
out of closet, because if
Yeah.
it's a lot of people in the closet, it makes a problem.
Yeah,
Like, they
it's-
have to be out. Yeah.
I don't know. It's it's a lot of stigma. And also it's very weird because we have a very famous drag queen in the TV show.
Which one?
And I mean, his name is Ernesto Pimentel,
Mm-hmm.
but he do a, a personage that it's a drag queen, but very folkloric clothes,
Okay.
but it's like we call Chola Chabuca. And also she do a show for families, and also she do like a circus for children
And that's all
adults.
happening in Peru.
Yeah, it's
We
happening
have
in
that
Peru.
kind of similar things too. For
So-
some reason, people like easily accepting that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, especially when it's on the stage.
Same in
Yeah.
Turkey. Yeah, there's
Yeah?
a lot of entertainers who are trans, drag,
Impersonators, yeah, cross dressers.
but it's a different story. Like
It's
people,
not-
fame actually erases like the stigma.
They still
way.
pretend that they're straight people. If someone
yeah.
will take interview from them, they will usually in Russia that's how it works. They would usually avoid the topic of relationship or partner or they can even say word partner, but they wouldn't say what sex,
gender, yeah.
gender. Yes.
So
I mean, no, sorry.
no, I just think of Filipp Kirkorov when you say that. Is that a good example? I'm not saying he's.
I'm so surprised how well you know our culture. That's crazy.
I mean, Eurovision kind of helps.
That's right. Yes, he is. Yes, he's a good example of
I'm
that.
like, girl,
There's come on.
every time I see him. But hi, Philip.
He's looking more and more gay this year. It's crazy.
He's obsessed with Turkish pop, and he covers a lot of Turkish songs. That's why we know him.
Oh,
Because
okay,
that
you're
Russian guy who makes the Russian version of every song, and then he does it for Greece also.
That's true.
For
He's
some
obsessed
reason, yeah, like
for
he's
those two
obsessed.
countries. That's very cool. Well, guys, since we talk already about Peru and Turkey a little bit and Russia, let's talk about about travels and different countries. Oh, by the way, before we're going to talk about that, I want to ask, when was your last time in Turkey?
Last month, May.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cool. And when was your last time in Peru?
3 or 4 months ago.
Oh.
look at us.
Yeah.
Do you wanna know when was my last time in Russia?
I think you weren't able to go for a while, right? Or you haven't been able to go.
I've never been back. So
Oh, really?
I've never. So
Wow.
it's been 11 years. Yes, 2014. About the trips and travels and other countries, I'm very interested. I want to know more about your Instagram blog that you do.
Mm-hmm.
You travel a lot. You've been many countries, Europe, probably mostly in Europe. You're gonna correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, yeah, you got it.
And you're giving the trip advices to, especially for the LGBT community, where to travel. Tell me more.
Yes. I've been a travel blogger for the last almost 10 years, and my focus has been just, travel guides and tips for queer travelers, the entire community, not just gay people. And I focus on basically, the culture, the city, and inclusive experiences, like safe experiences for our community. So I've been creating a website, and I have an Instagram, and I post a lot of video content. I have a YouTube channel as well. Most recently, I'm also working with an LGBTQ plus medical tourism agency in Istanbul. We help people find like the best clinic for hair transplants and such. And
That's important for the
Yeah.
gay community these days. Beside of fun
Yeah.
and parties, gay people, just like anyone else, wants to look good.
of course,
And these days, there's so many procedures you can do with your hair, with your face, with your what else? The teeth, everything.
there's so many options, and Turkey is really affordable. So I help people like feel safe and find the best clinic that's welcoming and that feels like the best option.
And you speak two languages. so
Yes,
you
I
can
help with that
too. Yeah.
as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
I have this question. I'm sure you have so much knowledge about the travels and different countries. But tell me, since you're doing it for a very long time, 10 years you said, how the situation changing probably in Europe or whatever countries towards gay people? Like maybe some countries much safer these days and better to travel, and some countries are getting to the worst, like in the wrong direction.
I think that's super important to acknowledge. Every country is different. There's one thing in common for sure. The new generations is like everywhere more accepting, but some countries and some some presidents or administrations are taking a different stance. Like, look at Hungary; they're banning Pride Parade, which is insane.
Wow.
It's an EU country; like they shouldn't be able to at the beginning.
Wow.
Like EU should have a system in place for that. But like Spain is a place that's like extremely safe for gay people. People in general are super welcoming. They don't care about how queer or not you are.
Wow.
There's like very little to no toxic masculinity in Spain and in other countries too. But I spent 1 year in Spain like until recently, so I felt that a lot. I think gay travelers have a lot of options, and I don't blame any gay traveler traveling to even places like Saudi or United Arab Emirates, because the biggest thing is, yes, those places make it illegal to be gay, but they still have local gay people. They still have businesses that are gay accepting and welcoming. We can still go there and support those places. I mean, because there's still culture, history to be seen. There's still museums to be explored. So,
True.
like when someone criticizes a person for going to those places, I think it's unfair. If they have a valid reason to go, they can go, as long as they bring value, they connect with the local communities, and basically give them hope for the future.
Do you have to look different? Do you have to dress up appropriate, or depends on the country where you're at?
Personally, I haven't had like any issues about my appearance, and that's probably my privilege, because I don't have like, I don't stand out so much.
Okay.
But
you don't have your hair a normal color, and you don't have a piercing or tattoos. Or...
Yeah, but I'm not saying, of course, like, I mean, I'm acknowledging my privilege, but of course there are local guidelines. I'm happy to answer questions if people have any questions about their trip plans. Like, I'm happy to help them with that for sure.
Nice, interesting. Well, I'm also curious to know, but I wanna about your year living in Madrid. That's very exciting.
Barcelona,
I've never been in Spain. I wanna know that. But I wanna ask you about your trips and the countries you prefer to travel. Where you been in the last couple of years or more, and which countries you prefer in general to travel to?
I think the same place. Like, I think Madrid is one of my favorite places.
How many times have you been there? Once?
I was living for 3 months, 6 months. No, 4 months.
Did you
sorry.
say 6 months? I want to 6 months too in Madrid.
I heard it too.
No,
yes, I heard it.
It's my pronunciation. I'm sorry.
So you've been living there for 6 months, but 6 months. Okay, I got it. Yeah.
So which months are 6 months? Because
exactly. I want to make sure I'm there.
Between the Pride
months
until the end of summer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I went to study to Madrid for a few months, and I had the opportunity to travel around that area. I went to Barcelona.
Yeah.
I love Barcelona.
Amazing.
And actually, this year I'm going back to Madrid and Barcelona because
I'm going
in August, just for 10 days, I think it is.
Amazing.
Because I don't know why. Actually, I never expect to come to New York or United States. Actually, my goal was to go to Barcelona or Madrid to study acting. That was my focus. That's
it
why
really
when
makes sense. I mean, well, first of all, it's a language, but the second of all, I think like people from art industry, we should avoid United States. I feel like I really cannot do much here. Like, I cannot find my spot.
No, but you know what? It's because like
Europe is
before, 10 years ago, we didn't have, especially for Latinos who speak a Spanish language, we didn't have a lot of opportunities like now. Like, the industry is increasing a lot with with Spanish
Everyone
language
speaks Spanish these days,
and another language. Like, they are doing a lot of movies here in New York, a lot of movies or series in LA, which is good now. But before, like, every speaker language was just focusing in Madrid or Barcelona to study acting, right? Actually, Netflix started the big series or movies in Spain because they was having like a good Spanish speakers over there. But back to the question, I mean, I think Madrid is one of the most safety place in that, it's more open to talk about different type of topics, especially for gay. They have Chueca, which is one of my favorite neighbors in Madrid. You know why? Because your face was, bitch.
No, I love Chueca. I did a video about Chueca, so I just thought about that.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful place. I love
So
Madrid,
lovely.
honestly, and also the food is super cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, people is super nice all the time.
But listen, so many people wanna travel to United States and wanna visit New York City, and gay people too, or visit New York Pride, etc. What makes the difference between Spain, Madrid, right, and New York City? Why do you think Madrid is better? In what sense?
So I lived in Barcelona.
Barcelona.
Barcelona and Madrid have a lot of similarities. I mean, in terms of gay life. In general, the biggest divide between the U.S. and Spain, in particular, is that Spain and the people, it feels like a big family. Okay, well, obviously it's not always true, but you're still part of a community. People are outside living life on the street.
In a good way.
Yeah, like you have beautiful parks. People sit on benches, just enjoy the street. The urban design is for that, for people to be together. New York is a city of hustle and bustle. People are always on the move. It's a busy city. People work. There's very bad work-life balance. And on top of that, especially since the pandemic, and I know this from living in Chelsea, there's a lot of people with mental health problems. And it's very sad because it's obvious and you see this all the time outside. So that sometimes gets in the way of you enjoying yourself. You can't sometimes just sit down, grab a book and, have a quiet time at a
Most
park.
of the time someone will sit next to you, that kind of people, yes.
There's going to be either noise or someone bothering you. And I actually got accosted. I got attacked a few times for just minding my business. So, and there's a lot of political correctness in this country where you can't say things. But
is it a good thing or bad thing?
I
That's
reject
very
that.
interesting.
I think it's a bad thing because that keeps us away from discussing the problem. Like in Spain, there's very little to no, problem with that, visibly. I mean,
interesting. How is it in the United States we
Yeah.
have freedom of speech, but at the same time
We don't.
we have to be politically correctly, right? So it's like, how does it work one and another together?
It's very interesting. There are so many weird intricacies. I mean, I'm like a white passing person, so sometimes I'm treated as such in certain settings, whereas I'm a white Muslim immigrant, which these two terms are confused because not every Muslim is brown and whatever that is. So anyway, I see different angles and I observe people, and this country is having a huge division problem. We're divided so badly, not just politically, but communities wise. And look at all the cities. The communities, the neighborhoods are divided also by that dynamic. So only New York is a real city where everyone's together. All kinds of people are sharing the same space, taking the subway, rich, poor. But besides New York, the rest of this country has a huge problem.
It's all spread out
with the
and all
design.
Disconnected.
And everyone's isolated, driving alone in their cars. They're depressed as fuck. I have so many things to share on this, but this is not the place. But I love New York because at least it's a big, livable European type of city. I wish we had a better
because we have transportation, so we were closer to each other, and we have to share places and
there's
spaces.
a sense of community here too.
So a little more than the rest of the United States, you want to say?
Look, in some parts of New York, if I were to hold my boyfriend's hand, I wouldn't feel safe. I actually got 3 times in our relationship, 3 times in situations got called names and such in New York. This doesn't happen in Spain. Not only people don't mind the business of others, especially those holding hands, but also there's no toxic masculinity. You go to Harlem or you go to Bronx and you hold your boyfriend's hand, or even in Midtown, the wrong person can say the wrong thing. It happened 3 times.
Yeah.
So I'm not not hopeful, but I'm also acknowledging the problem.
Yeah. That's very good. That's very good because sometimes, we as the immigrants, especially those who live here for 2, 3, 4 years, not so long.
Yeah.
we tend to say, oh my gosh, this is a country of
Exactly.
freedom of speech, and we are kind of blind in that sense, but because we have nothing to compare with. We usually compare
Exactly.
United States with the countries we came from, so it is obviously better than, let's say, Russia, right, in my example. But yeah, when you live here over time, over 10 years and more, you have something to compare with. Or when you travel other countries, you go, oh my gosh, I didn't know Peru or Brazil or Argentina or Spain could be that open, like way more open than even sometimes New York or some parts of New York City.
Couldn't have said it better. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I want to ask you to compare your experience living in Spain, in Peru, and New York, right? As a gay person, which one you feel more safe, comfortable, fun, more legal stuff, rights, or something? What's important for you, or relationship in general?
When I was living in Peru, I never came out, so I don't have a lot of experience. Well, my last 2 years that I was traveling more frequently to Peru, I was feeling like, oh, this is so fun.
Oh, now you know a
Because
different side of Peru.
Yeah, and also I have a gay friends in Peru, and I go out with them when I am over there, and also
I can introduce you to a big gay community in Lima if you want. I've been most of the
I
places.
saw some people in there that I say I know them.
Oh my God.
But now I am having a good time over there. Actually, like that's what I said in the beginning. Like I think Peru changed a lot, and I am very proud of them because like a lot of people is trying to do a better place to live, especially for the LGBT community.
Nice.
But every single place where I was living, it's different. They have a different like atmospheric, it's different. Like I never feel any type of discrimination because I was gay in any places. Well, except in Peru, yes. Because it was not directly to me, but I was listening the big stigma that if you are, especially in Peru, it's if you are gay, you just have to work like as a stylist or as a designer or making clothes, these feminine jobs, or you have to be in the kitchen, something like that, right? Which is the biggest stigma. I don't know if in the whole Latin America, but in Peru was very hard. So that's why I think like a lot of people, that's what I learned a few years ago. It's like the problem for the people is not like to know other gay people. The problem, it's like when your family, one of the members of your family is gay. If your cousin, if your friend is gay or somebody that you know but is not part of your family is gay,
that's totally
it's
fine.
okay.
But it's when it's part of your family, that's the problem.
It's a problem.
Because you don't know how to present it to other people.
Management the situation with with a society, and it's very hard.
I had a Filipino boyfriend, and I think that in Filipino community they have a lot of gay people, a lot of transgender people, all of that. They have it on TV everywhere. They always comedian, they always drag queens, etc. When it's like that, it's totally fine. Everybody having fun and all good. But when it's a family member, exactly same. They really don't know how to handle it.
Yeah.
Is it a religious thing? Sorry to interrupt, but like, is it because of the religious fear or the people, like the fear of what others will say?
I think it's a lot of things. It's many stigmas in Peru. It's for religion, it's for cultural, it's because the people is just growing up with that mentality. I think the big problem is like because people don't have the courage to affront this type of situation because they don't want to lose their family. And Latinos, we are very like familiar. We don't want to separate. We just want to be together. So if you say like I am gay, I'm going to lose my family, and I don't want to do these type of things.
I understand.
And also like Peru, it's very Catholic. So
that was
they're
my
so
other
happy
guess.
right now because the Pope was living in Peru for many years and all these type of things. This is another topic, but. So it's very Catholic and it's very religion, and it's very hard for them to accept a son or brother or sister who is part of the LGBT community.
So I would assume, correct me if I'm wrong, your gay life in New York essentially much bigger and brighter than in Peru, right? Because you came out and all of that, and so. How do you enjoy so far gay life in New York, or you have lots of complaints, or there's something you had any issues, or?
No, I think different than, well, now I think it's in everywhere. You can find many gay people everywhere, but I think like the difference than Peru and New York, and I think Spain, it's like in New York you have a lot of opportunity to find everything that you want. Like if you want to go and experiment something different, you will find it. Doesn't matter where. Especially, I mean, I don't know if in the whole United States, but in New York you can find many things like parties, restaurants, stores, places especially for gay community, gyms, you know, which is different for another places.
That's true.
You know, I don't know. That's
That really
why I
makes
think I
sense.
feel
That
more
really makes
comfortable
sense.
here in New York, because like if you want to have like, you want to go to more like, for example, in my case, I want to go to a place like it's just, I'm going to feel comfortable because gay people is working over there. I will go to Hell's Kitchen, for example, you know, or Chelsea or West Village, where I am feeling that community is very kind with me.
Yeah.
But that's not happening most of the time in other countries. Like in Peru, it's not happening.
I mean, it's not that big. It's still, I mean, in Lima they have gay places, but
But it's not
it's
very
not-
open to.
no.
You know?
They don't have a gay gym or the smart fit in the mall.
I don't want to kill myself in front of YouTube.
Hello, Lima. Okay. I have to-
You have to go to Lima. You will have fun.
Yeah, sounds fun.
after this conversation, yeah, you will.
I actually did make plans to go last year.
Well, you know, it's a Pride Month here in New York and in the United States. Most of the places it's happening in June. We never had Pride. I think we never had Pride in Russia. Have you ever had Pride in Turkey or any?
So Turkey has had Pride marches since early 90s all the way to 2016, 2017. We have the Pride Month and the cultural events, but the marches have been banned. Just like every other kind of demonstration by the current president and his authoritarian regime. So you really cannot protest about anything.
But you still have some kind of LGBT
The Pride,
events.
yeah, there are legal LGBTQ plus organizations and associations. The cultural events like movie screenings, parties, drag shows, drag balls, which are new in the recent years. Those are all happening. Like the social life is booming because the new generation is actually confident. They're out, they're dressing up in such creative and really queer ways on the street. Like I personally couldn't do it when I was their age because they're so courageous and brave. I just couldn't do it. So
Can you do it now?
applaud them. I mean, I think my taste, my fashion sense has evolved into a really boring place. So probably no. But anyway, so there's no Pride marches, but one day they'll come back because
When do they have those events? It's in summer, June, or?
yeah, June.
Usually June.
Istanbul and New York coincide usually,
I see.
and also Ankara, Antalya, Izmir, and North Cyprus, which is a de facto country nobody recognizes but Turkey. North Cyprus has a Pride march even today.
Okay. And so you said you have a Pride in.
Yeah, I think I
Lima.
saw so many posts about it. So I think yes.
When does it happen? What month?
I think in this month actually.
Oh.
June. Also June.
I think so. I'm so
think so.
sorry, bro. I don't have a lot
Get
of
your phone,
information.
Google.
Yeah, I will. But
ChatGPT,
I think
everything.
yes, it's in this. It's in this
Yeah.
month.
You know, so we never had a Pride in Russia, and I mean, since I left Russia 11 years ago, literally nothing have happened in a better way. It was like worse and worse every single day, month, and year. Like I don't really see any good news, especially in the LGBT space. It's really getting worse. But while I'm living here in New York and I'm questioning myself, what's the reason? I mean, what's the purpose and the goal and the meaning of the Pride we have here? Because I go to Pride sometime. Like for example, last year I went to Pride here in New York City, and me as an open gay man living here, you know, speaking the language, understanding everything. I couldn't get it, you know. I was there, I was watching the parade, and I couldn't get a message, or I couldn't get what is this purpose of this event? Do you have any thoughts?
I think you're right because Pride started from a place of protest and defending, our right to exist simply. So, and in some places, it's still a threat. Like, we are still seen as a threat. Obviously, people are born gay. There's no question about it, because I'm gay and I know this. So basically, we are being targeted for being born a certain way when you look at it at its core. And it's so scary because you don't choose where you're born. So, but I think we should remember that we need to actively protect our rights, because once we earn our rights, we shouldn't stop, worrying about losing them. We should always actively protect our rights, because in this world, nobody's free until everyone's free. So this country can do amazingly, but if Russia is not free, if the community in Russia is not free,
even other states of the United States,
we should speak for them.
True.
Like,
So many people in the United States still struggle with the gay life.
Up until 2003, in 20 states, there were laws about like anal sex was illegal until 2003 in the US.
I didn't know
So we shouldn't really we should just
Oops!
I didn't know that.
Oops! I did it
I was
again.
very legal.
not in New York, of course, but like the southern states. So
Right.
if you think about it, it's still very recent. A lot of the rights that we earn, we should not sit down and be like, okay, our
We're
job
good.
here is done. There's no such thing. We should speak for the others. If the US is doing amazingly, then it's time to speak for others. But we're not even there yet,
We're not there yet. Yeah, there's so many places, even in the United States, that needs to improve many things.
Yeah, I like the parties. I like celebrating, but there's always a political side that we need to not basically forget about when it comes to pride.
Wow. Do you have any thoughts? I love it.
No, I mean, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Maybe I am wrong, but
Tell me.
for me, this month it's more celebration about what we get during that 1 year. You know what I mean?
I love it. Celebrate
Because-
our achievements, what we've done so far in the year.
Yeah.
I
Because
love
it's
it.
like-
Really makes sense.
It's the way how you are saying, because what you say is true. We are fighting for many laws and many rights that we want to have, but it's not just in 1 month. We have to just demonstrate that in
all the
1
time.
month we did a lot of things for that
I
community.
love this
Yeah.
idea.
So that's why I go to the parties every month. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. But it's
Do the legal show up and celebrate.
I am very proud of what we did. No, but it's these type of things, because every single day we are fighting with many type of things. All the communities are doing, trans women, bisexuals, gays, queers, all the LGBT community plus.
Child
It's doing
adoption.
a lot of things every single day. Because I mean, if you're walking on the street, somebody's yelling, run, or bad things to you, and we have to deal with these type of things all the time. And again, this month is the time to show everyone we are here, we're celebrating our life, we are celebrating what we are doing, and I think that is the most important thing that
really
we have to
feels-
show everyone.
Yeah, I really like this idea because I've been questioning myself, why we're having Pride, and and what do we have to do, and that's very nice. Another question I have to you guys. You know what I noticed? New York City. When you go through the city or you're in the subway, for example, the ads of the dating apps in general. There's so many of them, I think it's a big city. Obviously, it's so big because, as you said earlier, we're all busy. We have no time to meet people, to date people. So a lot of companies trying to use this market, and create another app that I don't know should be better. I don't know why. What I mean? It feels like we have some kind of problem in this big city with the dating life. I mean, that's how I felt. Although I was lucky enough to find my very first boyfriend here in the United States in the first 6 months of living here.
Wow.
And so he is English speaking, and I had no language at all.
Did that help you learn that
I
experience?
did, yes,
Yeah.
for sure. But could you imagine how can we communicate if I have zero language, zero English, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't speak Russian, so. But it still worked out for us, and we've been together. We lived together for 6 years.
That's amazing.
So I was actually dreaming to have a relationship because I couldn't find them in Russia, in St. Petersburg, in Moscow. You know, it was like very tough because you cannot be open and it's difficult.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that thing. But at the same time, I still see a lot of single people in New York City and all this dating. People using Grindr, and at the same time they hate it, you know?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about dating in general for the gay people in the States?
I think one thing that sets us apart as the gay community is we are really more sex positive, so we don't need to like waste, I shouldn't say waste, but spend a lot of time to get to that stage. Like we can have a sex connection if you want pretty easily, and that's very liberating. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it if two sides want that. The other thing is, of course, there's a general issue. I hear this from my straight friends too. Like people tend to have very like short focus, so they lose focus on one person and then they ghost them. They can't really commit to one person. They're not patient with a single person. There's a lot of options. The swiping culture probably brought that to us.
Yeah.
My current partner and I, we met on OkCupid over 8 years ago, and it was an app which matched people based on like their similarities. So we used data, you know, to actually connect. So I think that was a good way to do it. But back in the day, I had a long-time partner, 6 years.
Before this partner?
Before my current partner, and we met on Grindr, and I was with a girl. I was dating a girl when I met this guy.
What?
Yeah, so things happen.
Wow.
You can meet everyone, all kinds of people on all apps. I can't be like, oh, this app is trash, this app is better. I can't really say that.
It really depends on the person. I mean, who you meet,
Yeah.
if you're gonna meet.
I mean, it's all about the long term. Like, you need to really get to know someone. And it's just a tool to meet someone, you know.
But I think since you had, you know, one long relationship, you have another long relationship right now, and you found them on those apps. I mean, OkCupid probably have better reputation than Grindr.
Probably.
Right. But it's a little outdated these days, I think.
Really?
I think so, yeah. I know.
You
this
probably know better because I haven't really
use
used
it, I know.
for a long
I
time.
use it for different reasons.
Oh.
You know,
Research.
I have yes. No, I have a polyamory relationship, so I'm polyamory for over 3 years now. So that's one of the apps that has polyamory options. So you can put check mark. And,
so cool.
And I found
oh wow.
And the way how I found OkCupid, that was exactly in the subway. I'm telling you,
that's
was like,
probably how I first saw about it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Really, the ads are really works, and I was like, and I see that ad of the OkCupid, and one of the ads says like, for non-monogamy people. I was like, and there's like three people in the picture. I'm like, oh, is this really possible? That's how I learned about polyamory. So I register immediately. You know, I put my pictures, I fill out my profile.
That's so cool.
And literally like week or 2 weeks later, I went to my first date with a polyamory guy, and we date for, you know, several months, and since then. Awesome. My journey, you know, polyamory journey began. Yeah, you have such a, I would say, good experience with those apps because that was your intention to find a relationship, right?
Yeah, I was dipping my toe in the water after that long relationship when I downloaded OkCupid, and I really liked that experience of like answering questions about yourself. Like, it's phenomenal. This is 2016, so
I know.
Right now AI is all the rage, but back then data in dating was kind of cool and new.
Dating.
Yeah.
So how was dating for you? So you've been in a relationship for how long? You in a relationship for how long?
For 4 years.
4 years, but you live in New York for 10 years. So what was happening before your relationship?
No, this is my first long relationship, and I think seriously, we are living together and everything. It's very surprise for me.
You do live together?
Yeah, because my longer relationship before this one was 3 weeks.
Wow.
So yeah, was
that's
not
a big
good.
achievement.
No, I learned to have a communication now. I think this is
and
the big
language
thing.
too.
Yeah, and the language too.
Because he doesn't speak Spanish.
A little bit he understands.
Okay.
He's
so
trying
cool.
to
Like puta.
Yeah, puta,
That
perra,
stuff,
rico,
if you
leche,
say
all this type of thing, you know?
Ah, qué rico!
So, but
Me encanta.
actually he was one of the person who helped me to improve my English.
Oh, yeah.
So, but before I was just having like 2 weeks, maximum 3 weeks, and that's it. Like,
So
Yeah,
you've
no,
been
it
living
was very bad.
here for 10 years, and the first 6 years of your life here, you were single.
yes.
So you
no,
were,
no, I was having a relationship, but relationship for 2 weeks and 3 weeks.
I mean,
Well, I was very like a little boy trying to have a relationship.
so what has changed? So 6 years you've been trying to find a boyfriend, and it was like 2-3 weeks, and next 2-3 weeks, and it's gone, right? And then you found a boyfriend. So what do you think you changed? Did you change your approach, or because you just learn English, or you can communicate better? Where did you find your boyfriend, by the way? Where did you on the party?
Okay, so
on the app?
No. Actually,
street?
this is my first relationship that I was very nice. So somebody introduced us. I was working in Fire Island,
Okay.
in the gay island in New York,
Yeah.
Where at? Like
in
what?
Kirkorov.
At the
In
Cherries?
the bar.
Yeah, I was working on top of the bay.
Okay.
So I was working over there, and I was living one relationship for 3-4 weeks.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
Some
So,
like
one, yeah.
and I was thinking, you know what? I don't want nobody else. I just want to be my life. I
It's
wanna be alive.
exhausting, of course. Oh my gosh.
But a guy who I was working with introduced me this guy who is my partner now,
Wow.
and actually he passed away 1 year ago. So the person who introduced me, my boyfriend. So the thing is, like, he invited me to go to Chicago for just one weekend, and when we went to over there, we have a good connection.
So he's not from New York.
He's from Iowa, but
That's the secret.
he's older from me too. So
Huh? Actually,
What's the age
Yeah.
gap?
the difference is 14 years old.
It's not so bad.
I mean, there's no.
I mean, it's not a huge.
Well, depending. I mean, I don't
14
know.
years is fine. I mean, I had 12 years different age gap with my boyfriend.
I mean, if the two people can be on the same wavelength, like right now I have 6 years with my partner. In the past I had a bit longer.
I had 24
Yeah.
years.
But you was
Age
older. Or
gap.
he was older than you, or
My partner's older than me.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like, I mean, he's got a lot more energy than I do. So really, I'm the
oh
older
yeah,
person.
that's true. But also, like,
Interesting.
I mean, I don't know, but for me, like, when you are with an older person, they can understand you a little bit more, like, because they already passed for many things that you
Yeah.
probably didn't pass.
they have
And
more
when you have that
experience.
communication, that person can understand you. But when you are with somebody the same age,
Or younger.
yeah, it's very
Disaster.
complicated. And also, you can talk a little bit more with this person about open relationship and other type of topics, So I think it's different. I had experience to having a relationship with guys that the same age than me, and was a disaster.
Yeah.
So
Maturity,
you're okay to have someone older, right? It works better for you.
I think I don't know. I have probably daddy issues. I don't know. But
Nothing wrong with that.
maybe
works,
but
it
yeah,
works.
I mean, I have a good relationship right now. I'm very happy.
Yeah.
Sometimes
And
we
you
have
said
a
you
little
live
problems,
together.
but it's normal, I think, in the relationship. So yeah, it's good. I introduced my mom to him, my dad. So
Where your mom and dad
Love that.
lives in New York?
well, actually, my mom passed away too. I have a lot of loss the last 2 years. Sorry,
My God.
but
Due to
but
COVID? No.
Huh?
No. COVID?
no. She passed away for another reasons.
Wow.
But she had a good relationship with my boyfriend actually,
Yeah.
and
I cannot imagine Latina women have a bad relationship with a gay person. They are so lovely, they are so friendly,
Yeah.
they're so cheerful. They always want to celebrate something. We are in the same mood all the time.
Yeah.
Let's play the
That's so
music.
true.
Let's have a fun. Come on, it's regular Monday. No, let's play the music. I mean, that's how the gay people live, and that's how the Latina women live.
They're bubbly
Yeah.
like us. I love that. Yeah.
and it's very nice when
Yeah.
your family. Now my family know him, and we have a good time. So I think this is the first person that I introduced to my family.
I mean, because he
it's-
stick for a longer time
Yeah, for
around.
sure.
Because
So
if it's like
what's
1
more
month,
serious,
like it's
yeah.
impossible. You cannot introduce your new boyfriend every single month to your mom.
So yeah, and well, the language was a big problem in the beginning of the relationship. I have a funny histories about it, but yeah, maybe in another episode I can tell you about it.
yeah.
But yeah, for sure, I think the communication about like different type of topics is very helpful in the relationship.
That's actually true. So, well, in your case, the apps really worked, I guess, right?
I can say
Both
that,
time, right? For me, if I look back to my boyfriends, I think someone introduced to someone. I like this very well.
Also, if they know both people well, like that's perfect.
That really works well.
Yeah.
I think like gay people should probably do that more.
Yes,
I don't know,
with their friends. I
Right?
agree. Yeah.
like oh, you should meet this guy, you should.
Yeah.
I mean, if someone offered me that, I would always say yes, of course. I
Yeah.
mean, come on, because you already made the effort, you know, to do that. And that's how I met very first boyfriend here in New York, you know. And but the apps, I mean, for me, I use Instagram sometimes as a
Hookah?
no, I don't need hookups. For hookups I go to
Okay.
specific places, right? But Instagram, you know, these days is because the algorithm, it really knows
It really, works.
knows a lot about you,
I agree.
and you can see common friends, and you can see interest, and you can see reposts and stuff like that, and really helps sometimes, better than Grindr. So you kind of build your own network through the people online, and then someday you can meet them in person. Well, it was such a great conversation with you guys. Again, thank you, Sav, for doing that. And you know, we have this set up for the very
You're
first
welcome.
time, and we're doing it in English for the very first time here. It was very nice to see you
Nice to
after a year, or I don't know. I mean, we rarely see each other, but it really every time we communicate, it's helpful, you know, to one another. So
Nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for hosting us.
so
Yes, you're welcome.
I wanna leave your Instagram or your links for social media in the description below. So
Okay.
yeah, so the guys can
Write
check it
down
out.
here, guys.
Write down.
Don't miss it.
If you have any questions to guys, you can comment below or ask the questions in the comment section below. I guess that's it, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Thumbs up to this video, and I'll definitely see you on the next one. That's it.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Lots of love. Happy Pride.